Okay, you can hear me back up home. Good evening. Let's go ahead and get started then. We're going to be looking at two different phyla tonight. We're going to look at the echinoderms, which of course is a deuterostome, and we'll be looking at the arthropods, which are of course in the protostome lineage. All right, and the lab exam is coming up in 16 days, May 1st. It's going to be in the evening. Sorry, the final's coming up in about 4 weeks from today for the 1A class, so things are getting kind of crunch time, so definitely stay healthy, try to get some good studying in. People have started asking me, I need to get a 72 on the lab exam too to get my A. It's only worth 64 points. So that's not going to be possible. The reason why it's worth 64 points is we only have 4 labs covered this time, and for the first lab exam we had 7 labs for 100 points. So that was a little bit over 14 points per lab. Now for this lab it's about 16 points per lab. So 64 points is the max. So if you're trying to gain a lot of points, so if you got a D and you're saying, I still want an A, you're going to see that you might have to get, you clearly have to get an A on the second lab exam, plus make up a lot of points, okay? So that may not be real possible, so set realistic goals. People keep saying, how do I study for this? I've gone over it repeatedly. Look at the trees. Understand the cladograms. Like this. Make sure you know the charts. Fill out the charts. No analogous structures, things like that, okay? So I just asked 3 students to come up with some various things on here. And so this was just some terms they came up with quickly. And so let's just try to think of some, what's the smallest group that contains this? All right. Trust me, come the May 1st, the answers will be much quicker, I hope. And what we'll do is on the Monday before that, which is I believe the 29th, I'll have an hour and a half lecture like we usually do, and it'll be very structured. I'll review things with you, ask you questions, etc. And usually on that night, the response is very quick. But it'll be Turbellaria. That's the smallest group that contains that we studied. For the earthworm, what's the smallest group? Oligochaeta. And the sponge? Porifera. Okay. Now, I think those questions are very straightforward. But remember I told you to work cladograms backwards and forwards? So let's just think of these as numerical numbers. What's the smallest group that contains 1 and 2? Definitely not Bilateria, because Bilateria includes both protostomes and deuterostomes, and there's no deuterostome here. So protostomes, is there a smaller group than protostomes? Lophotrophozoans. Because remember the protostomes are split up into the 2 groups, the ecdysozoans and lophotrophozoans. So that's what I mean by knowing these things backwards and forward. I could ask you what's the smallest group that contains 1 and 3? That would be Animalia or metazoans, because we have a parazoa and a eumetazoan. This is a true animal. This is an animal but doesn't have tissues, okay? So those are the sorts of questions. That's why I keep saying know those cladograms backwards and forwards. You should redraw those cladograms repeatedly, and if you really want to test yourself, make some flashcards, if you want, with the names of the various groups, randomly shuffle them and pick them out and say, okay, what's the smallest group that contains this? And then draw another card and say, what's the smallest group that contains this and this? And that will be a way you can test yourself, okay? Now, I'll be honest with you, I try to avoid biases within the lab exam. I always pick in the same groups. So what I have done now is I just randomly call friends and say, hey, I've made a list 1 through 28. Give me 4 numbers. They're like, huh? I say, give me random 4 numbers. Once they give me those 4 numbers, then I rate the lab exam based on those 4 numbers. Because they say, what's number? They might say, oh, I like number 5 and 12 and 18 and 2. But then on your lab exam, it will be, what's the smallest group that contains this? I give you a representative of each of those. Then I might say, what's the smallest group that contains 5 and 12? So you can do the exact same thing, okay? To test yourself, all right? Any questions about that? The other thing that I'm going to do on the lab exam is I'm going to try, and if you look at the past, you can see that it was a short answer. I'm thinking about trying to make multiple choice, okay? Which means we don't have to worry about spelling and stuff, but it's going to take me a lot longer to get that format done. So the plan is to at least have some multiple choice on it, maybe even all multiple choice, okay? So what I'm going to do there is, if I do that sort of thing, I'm going to probably have a list of maybe 10 things like this. And these 10 things, I had some students come up and just randomly pick 10 terms, and they said this is harder than what they thought. They got to 6, and then I just added a few, okay? So what I might do is just say, okay, here's organism 2. So it'll be something like this is the wording. And you don't have this slide, but it'll say bubble in all terms that apply to indicated organism. So that can be bubble in A, bubble in B, bubble in C. So in the past, you would actually have to write all these terms on your own. So this way you just bubble in. Yes, question? There was never any opportunity for partial credit. On a question like this, it was all or none, okay? So it was still all or none, because each question was only worth half a point, okay? If it was a pathway, it might be worth 1 or 2 points, okay? So what you're going to do now is we can do the short answer. But realize we also take off for spelling if it's not pretty close. So I think this actually format will be much easier for you, and certainly far fewer mistakes with the grading, okay? But I want you to be very aware that it will not, I will state specifically, select the one best answer if I'm only looking for one answer. But if I say something like bubble in all terms that apply, realize it could be A, B, C, and E, it could be A, B, and D, okay? All the terms that apply, okay? And I may have none of the above as a choice, okay? And I may have all of the above as a choice. And that means if it's all the above, just bubble that in so you have a bubble in each individual letter, okay? So is this clear how this is going to work? So it can be more than one. If I state more than one, that's what I mean. Any questions? All right. I think it will actually probably be a little easier than you trying to think of all these terms. Because I know when the students were here, they struggled with, coming up with these terms. Now these terms will be present and you just bubble in. So on the answer sheet, I will probably have 10 choices. So I'll design different Scantron for them, and it might be A through I for various ones, okay? Any questions? All right. So anyway, that's the format for that. And then this is just another way. A list of 10 terms is shown below. So these are 10 terms that students came up with. And then, bubble in all the terms A through J that apply to indicated organisms. So in this case, it's a crayfish. So let's quick do this. These terms came up by students. So would you bubble in coelom for crayfish? Yes. Ectoderm, do they have it during development? Yes. Ab or oral, does that really apply? No, because they're not really symmetrical. Mesentery? Yes, because they are a true cell organism. Vena cava? Well, we think more of that with the heart with the rat, so I would say no. I probably would not have picked this term myself, but again, I had the students pick it, so I probably wouldn't have done it myself in the exam, but that's what they picked. Pseudoheart? No. And I know you haven't done the crayfish dissection of ecdysozoan? Yes, because they're in the arthropods that have molting stages, and we'll actually talk about molting. Bilateria? Yes. Diploblastic? No, because they have 3 germ layers. An osmoconformer? Yes. They'll mass the external environment, okay? So anyway, so let's just go through a few things. Remember, I keep saying over and over the cladograms. Know these backwards and forwards to save you some time in the exam, right? Now, last semester, I didn't have any students email me. I usually get emails right after the exam saying, oh my God, I didn't have enough time. I didn't get a single email like that, so I'm assuming people had enough time last time. When you take this exam, you have the exam. Now, you have it in black and white, but you can also go to BSpace to do it in color, okay? So you can print out in color and then time yourself, okay? You'll have 100 minutes to take it. We'll start 8:20. We will start at 8:20. So I want you in the room at 8:10 on Wednesday, May 1st. So 8:10 we'll start at 8:20, go till 10. I apologize for the lateness, but that was OChem didn't have the exam earlier, so you guys didn't have this conflict between the two. Now it turns out I think OChem switched the dates of the exam anyway, but by now it's too late to change back. The room's gone. So anyway, so make sure you're familiar with these cladograms like that. We've talked before about just showing it this way, with terms of the ecdysozoans, the ones that molt, arthropods, nematodes, tardigrades, and then we have the low-phytrochozoans, which we looked at already, the annelids and mollusks. Okay? And then this was just illustrating here. And again, I do want to stress that the flatworms, the polyhelminthes, are indeed in the protostome groups, although they lack a coelom. Ancestral forms, we believe, had a coelom. They lost it during evolutionary history. So they are indeed a protostome. And in fact, they're the branch of the low-phytrochozoans. I've tried to stress that because every semester there's lots of questions about that. Because if you go online and look at various resources, a lot of things are very outdated and have it separate by itself. Okay? And for the ecdysozoans, we're going to be looking at the arthropods, and maybe I'll mention briefly water bears and these velvet worms. And nematodes, you had a little bit in the 1A class. And remember, low-phytrochozoans refer to the special larval form. They have this band of cilia like this around this feeding groove. And then for the echinoderms, so they're deuterostomes. So if we had this branch here, which was the protostomes. So if we had the branch protostomes, remember that off the deuterostome branch, so Bilateria, we have the protostomes in the deuterostome branch, and we had the two, the chordata and Echinodermata. And we did this on the first lab, but I think from what I can tell, a lot of people didn't look at everything in this lab. So remember, here we had three groups: Vertebrata, which is the rat section, which we looked at mostly. But we also had a couple other things out, one of which was the cephalochordate. And I bring this up again because I got the impression that a lot of people didn't look at this. And that's the lancelet. And that's that needle-like structure, which we've shown repeatedly that has the four chordate features. And then the other one, which isn't real obvious, is the urochordate or the tunicate. And we have these in the marine tank. So please look at those if you didn't look at them last week. We didn't have them available the first week, so I just want to stress them again now, okay? So those are kind of the three groups within the chordates that I'd like you to be familiar with, okay? Vertebrata had the vertebral column, then the other two groups, the cephalochordates, and the urochordates, the tunicates, okay? And of course, the four features of chordate. And when we talk about four features, those are unique features. You can also say that's a derived feature, not shared by other groups. So if you pick something like multicellularity, many groups have that. It's an ancestral feature. A unique feature is a derived feature for that group, okay? So the postanal tail, the dorsal hollow nerve cord, the notochord, okay? And I will certainly ask some questions using those terms, derived versus ancestral, okay? So derived is a new feature by that group, okay? So in terms of the echinoderms, we have the water vascular system. That's a derived feature that's unique to that group, okay? Alcarius endoskeleton, would that be ancestral or derived? Ancestral, because we see that also in the chordates. We have an endoskeleton, so both these groups would share it, so it would be an ancestral feature here, okay? So that's if you're not sure about if something's ancestral or derived, go back in the cladogram and work backwards. If the group here, taxon group, whatever, if you find it in both of these groups, then it's probably ancestral, or each group may have independently evolved it, but that's probably not what happened. It was probably ancestral, okay? All right? And the reason I say groups may have independently evolved is because we see things like segmentation, where very different groups have evolved segmentation. Okay, so Alcarius endoskeleton, we certainly have that radial symmetry. That says the adult, the juvenile forms have bilateral symmetry. So I might have a question on the lab exam that says something like, I have a water vascular system, and I'm a filter feeder and something else. And then you think, okay, water vascular system, echinoderms, filter feeder would be the crinoidians. Okay, so we'll go over that shortly, right? So I may have a few questions like that where I list a few attributes which will narrow it down to one specific group. I might say, I'm triploblastic, I lack a coelom, then that forces it then to be in the platyhelminthes, and then I might say I'm free living. Okay? Which would then force it to be the turbularians, okay? So there'll be a series of pieces of information with a question like that, okay? And it does take a while to come up with these sorts of questions to pinpoint a specific answer. But I will try to do that. If indeed it turns out that when I write this, I suddenly realize, oh, maybe there might have been more than one answer, I will give credit for that other answer if indeed it works, okay? But I'm going to try to avoid that, okay? So anyway, let's go over the groups. So the groups are going to be in terms of, let me just draw the cladogram. So I tried to show you a little bit more of the relationships here. So in terms of the echinoderms, the groups would be, we have here Crinoidea. Those are the ones that filter feed. There's something called sea lilies. We have here the Asteroidea, which are the starfish. This group here is the Ophiuroidea, which are the brittle stars. And I'll point out to you what the difference between those two are. Is the brittle stars are like this, where there's a central disk, and the arms don't touch, whereas in starfish, the arms pretty much touch, okay? So these are called brittle stars, sometimes common name, because people hypothesize that the arms break off more easily, okay? And then we have the Polychloroidea, which are the sea cucumbers, and the Ectinoidea, which are the urchins and the sand dollars, okay? And then that's the cladogram that shows the relationships. I'll give you a couple minutes to write that down. And let's go over again how you read this cladogram, how you interpret the cladogram. So these two groups are more closely related because of this common taxon here. Now, indeed, there's names for each branch on this cladogram, but we're typically not giving you every name for these branches because it gets to be a huge number of terms. Instead of 28 different groups, there might be 100 and some. Okay? So I'm giving you the names of these branch points each time. And then, of course, this is the Echinodermata. So then the Ophiuroidea and these groups are more closely related, etc. So you can work backwards on the cladogram to come up with common points on this node. Here, this is a node or a branch. Okay? So here's just a list of the classes that we just went over. The Crinoidea, the sea lilies, or feather stars. And these are the filter feeders. So the next group would be the Asteroidea, which are the starfish or sea stars. And then the next group, the brittle stars, the Ophiuroidea. And they have those slender arms. So the way they distinguish between these groups is we'll talk about a structure here called dermal branchia, which they have basically, their coelomic lining extends outward to increase the surface area for gas exchange. And those structures are called dermal branchia. And I'll show you that on an image, in a couple images. Okay? Then we have these two groups. And remember, with the cladogram, you can spin them around in axis. So if I redrew this like this, and I had the Echinoidea here, and the Polychloroidea here, and then I did Ophiuroidea and the Asteroidea, the Conoidea. This cladogram is identical to this cladogram because all I've done is flip the axis here. So it shows the same relationship that these two are most closely related. So these two cladograms are displaying the same exact information. Okay? And I'm going to probably have a question, to tell you ahead of time, where I draw maybe 4 cladograms or 5 cladograms, and I'm going to say which of these is unique. So then you'll need to realize that, oh, you can flip these around the axis, and it's the same cladogram. It always goes back to, again, how do you trace the relationships? If that cladogram shows the exact same relationships, then it's fine, okay? All right? And then we have the Echinoidea, which is sea urchins and sand dollars, okay? And the Holothroidea, sea cucumbers. So let's just show you some images of these. This is the Asteroidea that I mentioned, and you can see how the arms pretty much touch at the base here. There's no large amount of central disc that's spanning between the arms. Here's another sea star here, or starfish, Asteroidea here, and we have these in the marine tank. They're sometimes called leather stars. If you go back here, well, that's not a good example. Here's a great example here. There's these spines that stick up, okay? In fact, the name echinodermata means spiny skin or hedgehog skin-like. There's these spines here. There's epithelium that lines the surface of these spines, okay? So the endoskeleton is an endoskeleton. It's a layer of epithelium on top of this stuff. So here, with this leather star, it's really easy to see that because the amount of epithelium is quite thick and it's really soft. The other starfish that we have, you're going to see that endoskeleton projects up at the spines, and if you just touch it, you might think, oh, this is an exoskeleton, but in fact, there's a thin layer of skin on top of it, all right? And we will have a starfish dissected as a demo. Then we have starfish in the tanks. Your instructor will go to the tank. They'll demonstrate the starfish for you. You'll see their pedicellariae, et cetera, working, and I'll go over that with you shortly. So the sea urchins here have these spines that stick up. Realize that if you find a remnant on the beach, things like that, that's dead, use a wave action has broken all these spines off, so you don't usually see that, okay? Here's a sand dollar, again, Echinoidea here. Here's the sea cucumber. We have some of this marine tank. Here's 2 feet. I'll show you some more images of the 2 feet here, part of the water vascular system. This illustrates kind of a unique feature of these. For gas exchange on these, instead of having those dermal branchia that extend outward, they have basically branches from their GI tract out pockets like this that increase the surface area. It's called a respiratory tree. That's for gas exchange. And they use that for defense. So basically what happens is if there's a predator on them, they will eject their respiratory tree, basically lose the distal portion of the GI tract, but it will entangle the predator or startle the predator so they can potentially move away. Okay? Here's one of those brittle stars. See the arm here and see this large amount of central disc there. Okay? And then here's that, again, another example of that. And you see modified spines here. These spines project upward, but they're usually modified on the, since it's radial symmetry, we'll talk about the oral surface and aboral. So usually the oral surface, down below on the contact substrate here, has 2 feet here, and the spines help protect those 2 feet. And we'll see that, okay? And we do not have any illustrations in the lab for this in terms of living sea lilies and that. So if I had this question on the lab exam to ask you to identify this, I would use this specific image because it's the only one we have to really illustrate, okay? Again, charts. A lot of people have emailed me, what can I do to do really well? At this point in time, for the second lab exam, it's a lot of memorization. Knowing these cladograms, knowing the structures, knowing the terms, knowing which ones apply, and it's pretty much brute force to learn all that stuff, okay? Charts are here. Please fill them out as you go through. I do want to point out that endoskeleton, wherever the skeleton is here, is an endoskeleton made of calcium carbonate, and there's basically plates that overlap that allow them to have mobility. What we see here are juvenile forms, and we'll see this next week. Next week we'll do a reproductive development lab. We'll get, hopefully the urchins are cooperating, we'll have sea urchin eggs and sperm. You'll mix them, you'll see fertilization events, you'll see the first few divisions, cleavage reactions, and then eventually, we won't see in the lab because the cleavage reactions don't occur fast enough. We'll have various stages of larval development, and you see that they have bilateral symmetry, but they both have radial symmetry. Here just shows you again the term oral versus aboral. Oral is the mouth part. Here we see actually 2 examples here. Here's an Asteroidean and an Echinoidean here, the urchin here. This shows you sort of a cut. What they've done is remove the aboral surface so we can see internally. They have a huge coelom. All this space inside here is the coelom, okay? And they have 2 stomachs for feeding. Okay? I'm going to go over those. They have a cardiac stomach, which is closest to the mouth, and aboral to that is the pyloric stomach. And the way to remember that pyloric stomach is that pyloric stomach, this banded tissue out here, is connected to what they call here digestive glands, but we will call this instead of digestive glands, although it is digestive function, we'll call it digestive ceca. Ceca just means outpocketing, just outpocketing the GI tract. And we have 3 terms for it. All 3 terms mean the same thing. They are digestive ceca, implying digestive function. They are hepatic ceca, implying liver-like function. So what would be that function? What's the function of the liver? Glycogen storage, formation of nitrogenous waste, detoxification. So that would be a function of this. Now, these are all marine organisms. So what form of nitrogenous waste do you think it would be? Ammonia. It's free to diffuse across the surface. Okay? And another term is pyloric ceca. The reason why I like the term pyloric ceca is because I can never remember if this is the pyloric or the cardiac stomach. But if I remember this pyloric ceca, and I know that's connected to the stomach, then I know this is the pyloric stomach. The other way, of course, is cardiac is most oral. Yes, question? Okay, so they're not very similar at all. I'll just use the illustration here. In terms of the rat, the cecum is a very large outpocketing, but it's mostly one single chamber within there. There are no divisions within there partitioning that. But there are a lot of bacteria stored within there, okay? So it's basically one large outpocket. In this case of this, it is indeed an outpocket from this, but there are all these branches and subdivisions here, and that's because we're making the digestive enzymes there. So a huge amount of digestive enzymes being produced there. So a lot of cells that make those digestive enzymes, and the vast majority of digestion actually occurs within these digestive ceca. And then the nutrients that are taken up actually freely diffuse into the coelomic fluid. There is no direct circulatory system like we have. So for our GI tract, nutrients are taken up. They then go to our liver so we can process them, deal with any toxins that are taken up, etc. And then those nutrients get distributed to the body. So the liver gets the first chance to look at that to sort of detoxify that, okay? And then we distribute nutrients. In this case, what happens